Hey y'all, welcome back to Mulberry Branch Farm. My name is Ashley and today we're going to talk a little bit about my mental health. And you know, it's really easy for anybody to go on the interwebs, the wide world of YouTube, and look up homesteading and how to grow a tomato or how to take care of your goat or your milk cow or things like that. And you'll be given this plethora of information, and if the content creator is really good about sharing, they'll show you beautiful pictures of what's actually going on their farm, and those moments are great. It's the moments behind that nobody really ever wants to talk about. Homesteading really can make you feel like you're on an island, and that nobody ever traverses the sea to get to your island, and you're always busy and you sacrifice a lot of what most people nowadays don't tend to sacrifice, which is your time and your enjoyment. Because let's be honest, the homestead does offer a lot of time and enjoyment, and it enriches our lives, but sometimes it just feels like it never ends. There's never a real moment to sit down, and when there is, it's quickly overshadowed by the next chore that needs to be accomplished, the next project that you've dreamed up, or the next disaster that's happening, and you're forced to deal with it right then and there, whether you are mentally equipped at the moment or not. Because whether we're mentally equipped when things go wrong is just a variable, and most of the time that's a skill that we have to learn as we go through this journey. And I find myself looking a lot at the beauty on my farm. And I know some people are going to sit and look at some of these videos, and I will show you all of the best parts of my farm. I will show you all of the wonderful joys, all of the wins, all of the victories, but I also do try to show you a little bit of my failures. And while behind me might look like a failure, it's actually not. This is actually just seasonal change. This is Mother Nature saying growing time is done, the harvest has come and gone, and I am ready to put all of my gardens to sleep. But the fall time here also means that we're gearing up to go to the Homesteaders of America conference, and that is good for my mental health. Hey guys, it's Mulberry Branch Farm here at the HOA conference of 2022, and it is very busy. We just got done with the opening ceremonies and we're getting ready to go into our conference. I think we're starting on day 2. We take day 1 to kind of go and catch up with our family here, our homesteading family that we haven't seen in about a year. But it's been a lot of fun. What's been your favorite thing so far?
Speakers so far.
What's your favorite speaker?
John Lavelle.
John Lavelle was awesome.
Yeah.
John Lavelle, the warrior poet, was wonderful.
Also awesome. She was very inspirational.
Yeah, Jill did an inspirational talk yesterday at the very end, and it was awesome. Even for the longtime homesteader, we all face different challenges, and I think she really hit the nail on the head. But we're going to take you guys around today, and we're going to meet some other channels, and we're just going to have a great time, and we hope that you follow along with us. Let's go, guys.
Yep.
This is actually our second year going to the Homesteaders of America conference in Front Royal, Virginia, and I am sold on supporting this endeavor. Not only because I love those learning situations where you're put in with some really, really wonderful people that really know what they're talking about. They have a plethora of experience. They're great speakers. They know how to make you feel like it's relatable, but it's for my mental health that I really enjoy going to Front Royal, Virginia. The conference kind of substitutes what a lot of other people have throughout the year, which is being able to set time aside to actually socialize and to build community. And I know that I have a community here on YouTube and I have a community on other social media platforms, but there's something very different about a community on social media platforms and an actual community that you get to talk to in real time, and you're sharing facial expressions, and you get to enjoy body language, and you get to enjoy the entire atmosphere of what's happening around you with friends. And here with the Homesteaders of America, it's like everybody here is your friend. It's a very odd feeling in how society kind of portrays lots of things today. We do a lot of our interactions online, so actually getting to do them face to face feels like a rarity, and I really enjoy it. I really find myself diving deep to get connections with the people that I've known maybe for years online, or to build new relationships with someone that I might just meet in line at a food truck, or who just happened to sit next to me at a different talk. It's wonderful to go and be around like-minded people, because sometimes when we're homesteading, and people find out, you know, you like to grow your own food, and you want to know where your food comes from, and you start talking to them about how the food system is broken and that you want your own food security, sometimes they might look at you like you aren't in grasp with reality, which really, we're in grasp with a natural reality. I'm in grasp with nature all of the time, and then when I see some of the things on the news and stuff like that, it kind of it tells me why I'm doing what I'm doing. And while homesteading is beautiful, and there are moments in this life that I would never change for anything, there are experiences that have changed me and that have molded me to be the person that I am, that I would never trade for anything. I would go through every single one of those hardships that I've gone through over and over again because I can appreciate where I am right now. But there are moments in those hardships when you do feel like you get a last man standing mentality, because not a lot of people are doing this now. Don't get me wrong, there's a huge movement coming back to homesteading and self-sufficiency, and there are a lot of people that want that food security, and they want to know where their food comes from, and they're reconnecting to the earth and the soil in ways that that they may never have dreamed of being possible, that we would think are relics of the past, but they're really not. They're really going to be the key to our future and to being sustainable and to not have to worry about shortages or things like that. That's what the whole point of this movement is. But there's really a point in your life sometimes, or in the middle of a hardship, that you just feel really isolated. You feel like you're very much alone, and that nobody really understands what you're going through in that moment. Because while homesteading is becoming more popular, there are a lot of people that just will not understand where you're coming from when you talk about, you know, how you're setting up your breeding plan for your livestock to better your livestock so that they can better your property, and they can better your lifestyle, and you can give to them and they can give back to you. And this wonderful cycle that nature is putting in front of us, that's been there the entire time, that we're all finally reconnecting back to, that it makes you feel isolated. I often have times with people at work where we talk about things that keep us busy, or even recently we had an icebreaker. What was your favorite thing about fall? And my favorite thing about fall was breeding season for my goats, because I am your resident crazy goat lady. Deer season, because it gives me a chance to go out and lawfully harvest venison for overpopulated areas to feed my family and to help with overpopulation, which in turn helps the ecosystem to not have too much pressure from the deer, which causes starvation and disease. And Homesteaders of America. And, you know, I got a couple of questions, but, you know, sometimes when you're doing the Teams call, you can see people's faces, and it might just be me, but seeing those faces, they were unimpressed and they didn't care. And some of them just kind of looked at me like, you're kind of crazy. Like, why? What? A homesteader? We're not in the pioneer times. And you can kind of feel that pressure sometimes, and it makes you question yourself. So when you go to the Homesteaders of America conference like I have the last 2 years, and you find that community, you find your tribe, there's just something super awesome about that. Finding people that understand the plights that you go through, that they understand the victories, they understand the mountaintops that you stand on victoriously, and the valleys that you just might dredge in self-pity for a moment because everything has just gone wrong. You had all these expectations and none of them came to fruition. That is why the Homesteaders of America is my mental health, because the chores never stop. The animals always need taken care of. I have to worry about my harvest. I have to watch to see if there are any types of pests in with my food, and how can I holistically treat that when we live in a world where we throw a chemical at everything. Not that all chemicals are bad. There's a place and time for a chemical in all situations. But then I have to worry about what's in my food, and can I eat it, and how long does it take for that chemical that could possibly residually harm me to leave that. It kind of helps me to come back and to ground myself. You know, it really does. I don't know why I'm destroying the sleeve. But you can see how that can kind of lead into, it never stops, and I never get a time to mentally decompress. But really this lifestyle, the moments that you win are the moments to decompress. That flawless kidding, that saving a kid on the verge of death, planting that loofah that you've been wanting to grow for forever, and it finally grows. Those are the moments where we mentally need to decompress, but there's something beautiful in community. And there's something in a community type feeling where you know you are surrounded with people that understand your heart, mind, body, and soul, and what you're expecting to get from the land, and understand your approach and your perspective, and you don't feel like you have to explain it in a way that almost is like you're defending yourself, because that does happen. It happens for all of us. Even on YouTube videos, you might not like how I do something with my herd, and that is fine and dandy, but this lifestyle allows us to do lots of things lots of different ways, but even that can add to someone's mental health being a little bit damaged and needing a little bit more TLC and repair. So while we're here at the Homesteaders of America conference, I take in every little bit. I try to allow my mind to decompress, to let the friendship and the community and the fellowship that I feel with these people to heal my heart and soul, and it rejuvenates me. I come away with new knowledge, new friendships, and it makes me come back and understand exactly what it is that I am doing. And a hawk just tried to grab some of my chickens. What? That was so weird. And I know I live a very blessed lifestyle. I have so much more in my life than I could ever hope to achieve, that I know I don't deserve any of it. I know that I've worked really hard to get here, and that I've had to take a lot of self-humbling lessons in my walk, in homesteading, through faith, through all of those different things that I think accumulate to build what a person actually has in their lives. That it might make you feel bad when you have this issue where you're like, I feel like I'm alone, and I feel like there's too much, when I know someone would love to have what I have. It is okay to feel that way. You don't need to verify or validate how you feel to other people. You just need to validate through your own mind that you're not alone, and the way to do that is to find your community. Find your tribe and stick with them. Build networks, talk to people. Don't let your blessings in this life, that can sometimes also feel like a burden, make you feel like your feelings and your emotions are not validated, because they are. And we all feel like that in this lifestyle. We all kind of feel like we've got a wonderful life, and it gives us such a sense of accomplishment, but then there are moments where you're like, I just don't really feel like I can have a moment to vent or complain, because there's so many people that would want to live the life that I have, but that's not to. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging that you have different obstacles than somebody else does. Even though your life through this lens, through a post on Facebook or Instagram, might seem like it's wonderful, there's always going to be an obstacle that's unique to you. And it's okay to feel that feeling in the moment. But it's also important to find the community to help you through those moments. What the Homesteaders of America does for me every year. I look forward to it, because I leave the farm, I go and I have fellowship with people that share the same mindset as me. They have the same goals. They practice a lot of the same things that I practice on my farm. We all kind of live by the same code, if you will. And there's something that's very, very soul quenching in that, where you just feel fed, you feel nourished in all aspects, not just and feeling rejuvenated to go back and hit all your projects, which I do, but there's a much more spiritual effect to that, and that's why the Homesteaders of America really does save my mental health every year.